Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jacob, and I've been an entrepreneur here officially for a little bit less than a year, and I'm showcasing my journey along the way, showing you the ups and downs. So hopefully it can help somebody, or it'll just be fun to look back one day for me. So yeah, that's kind of my intro there, and I'm going to be diving in this video on how I grew my very first account on social media to 20,000 followers. Now, since then, I've been across, I've been on a couple different teams managing social media accounts. I've been on a team managing account of $50,000 or $50,000 follower account. I've been one on like 10,000 follower account. I've managed a bunch of different ones over the past few years, but that was my first experience growing one from 0 to 20K. And this video is kind of for you if you're trying to grow you for the first time and just need to know the fundamental principles of everything. And yeah, I'm just gonna dive into it. So this was about almost 10 years ago. This is 2014. Around that time, I was still in high school. I was looking for something to do that, in high school, you had jobs, but they're very boring jobs. So I was looking for something to do on the side. And I wasn't really expecting money out of it. I was just kind of just doing it out of hobby at least. And what I did was I was an avid football fan, American football fan. I was a fan of a college football team named the Tennessee Vols. And I decided to make an account for them, like a fan account, whatever you want to call it, like a sports page, whatever. It's called The Vol Nation. You can look it up. I'll link it down below. I'll try to show it right here. And what I did was for 4 years, really, I didn't really have a timetable. I was just kind of growing it to grow it. But from 2014 to about like a year or two after I graduated college, like 2018, or graduated high school 2018, that's when I kind of tapered off and stopped it. But that's when I grew from 0 to 20K. And from 2018 to now, I post on it sporadically. It's kind of active now, but I don't really say it's active enough for me to claim it's being run necessarily. It's just kind of just there. But don't get me wrong, I'm still gaining like 5 followers a day. It's really weird. But that's aside. That's another story. What I'm really trying to tell you guys about is how I grew my stuff from 0 to 20,000 followers. So it's really going to be cut down to about 3 big points, but I'll kind of sprinkle in a few more points in there as well. But yeah, the first thing is like you have to make sure it's something fun that you really want to do. So luckily for me, I was young. I was like, oh, I'm just going to do something sports related, and I didn't really think about the money side of it. So I was like, who really cares? So I just got started with it. Now, I'm not suggesting you go after like a sports and entertainment thing because typically sports and entertainment don't really have too much money in it, so I wouldn't really have that mindset in it, or at least in the short term. I would just do it more for fun for that. But regardless of what you're doing, whether it's like finance, marketing, you're running a laboratory or transportation like page, like you have to kind of look at it in a fun sense. You got to think like, what would be fun to be posting here? What would be fun to post about? Like, for someone that doesn't know social media, this might be a hard question to ask, but I would suggest looking through what other people are doing. But you really have to ask yourself, like, what would be fun? So, like, let's say you work at a restaurant and you like showing people all the time about how you make a certain sandwich. Just show how you make a sandwich on social media. Like, it's just that simple. For me, I was just looking to find, like, a way to, showcase my opinions on the Tennessee, the football team I was always watching. And, that's a silly way to kind of go about it, but it was, ended up successful. So, the first thing is, you just have to kind of make it fun out of it. And I know that's kind of vague, but you kind of have to look at it in a way of not trying to do what other people are doing too much just because they're doing it. Like, just do what you know is fun, because if you know it's fun, it'll be easier for you to do it in the long term. That's the first thing. The second thing kind of ties along with that, but it's to be consistent. And, so far being fun and being consistent are two very vague and normal things everyone says. And I know that's, you're probably listening to this like, oh, that's bullshit, bro. Like, tell me the real answers. But I mean, honestly, that's the real answer. You have to find something that's fun that you like to do for a long time and do it consistently. So if it's, posting once a week, cool, post it once a week, and then try to eventually up it to twice a week. For me, I was posting, back in 2014, I was posting like almost every other day. So like 4 times a week. So like back then, 3 or 4 times a week was a lot back then. Like now, if you're posting 3 or 4 times a day, that's considered a lot. So like it's the game has completely changed, but the principles still apply. The principles still definitely apply. of just you have to be doing something fun for a consistent amount of time. Like I said, I grew from 2014 to 2018. Like that's 4 years. Like a lot of people are trying to get their account up and really fast, like 0 to 100,000 followers within a couple months. It's like there's a reason accounts that have like that larger followings and their followers and customers are really engaging is because it takes time. You can't just kind of bullshit your way through that. I mean, there are some good examples where you can do that, but there's not really a proven method. Like you have to have either a killer product or a killer personality. You have to do something really, really good to be that. And I'm telling you, 99.9% of you aren't that person or don't have that product. So don't really have that expectation going in. You need to kind of expect to win the long-term game. And if you're trying to win the long-term game, you're always going to win that. You're always going to win that. Eventually you're going to find out, as long as you're, not stupid. Like you're eventually going to win the long-term game. So yeah, you just got to be fun. Got to be consistent. Now looking back, 20,000 followers, I feel like I definitely could have done more. But like now that I know, so like now I can feel like I can grow any account to any amount. Like I know getting to 1,000 is a lot easier than a lot of people think. I know getting to 10,000 a lot easier than people think. So like I've done it. So now I'm just applying it to other areas of my life for business and for personal use. So that's what I'm really doing. And between being fun and consistent, the last thing is really just picking up on like small things that Instagram or whatever social media you're trying to use are introducing. So when I was doing this, video became a thing back in like 2016 or so on Instagram. And so you have to attack the opportunities to get involved with whatever's new on the social media app. So if it's like today, or I guess a couple years ago now, Reels came a thing. So you have to catch up. You got to be doing Reels. Like you can't just be sitting in the past of like, oh, how do I keep doing what I'm doing? Like, you have to keep leveling up every single time. Like when stories came around on Instagram, I started posting stories. So like whatever new tool that they promote, you need to start trying to utilize. And I'm not saying that you need to do it right away. Like sometimes I feel like there's a good waiting period to see what works and what doesn't from other people, because sometimes they might take away a feature. But if something is here and like proven to be here, you have to commit yourself towards like learning that and contributing towards that form of media, because that's really the only way you're going to grow, is by adapting continuously over and over and over again. So yeah, I mean, those are the big 3 points. So if you're able to do something for fun, do it consistently for a long time, and adapt whatever you're doing fun and consistently to whatever new media is going to be there, eventually you're going to grow a following. And it could be a year, could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, who knows? So yeah, I mean, that's really the framework. And I'll give one good bonus one too as well. And this one, it could change person to person, but I know there's definitely some of you guys out there that do this. But you have to use your account as an account. Like you can't just be tapping into your account just to post. If you're tapping into your account just to post, you're basically the equivalent of like an email newsletter. Like, and people are, I know it's kind of hard to explain, but like people are going to catch on to that eventually. Like not cognitively, but like they're not really going to care if you're just posting the post. They want to see other things out of it. They want to see you respond to the comments. They want to see you post more engaging stories. They want to see more engaging stuff from your account rather than just posting the post. The best accounts really engage with everybody, and it's hard to see that, especially cognitively thinking sometimes, but you see it over like a longer period of time with the better brands on social media. So that's really one last thing. So if you're really trying to like grow, I mean, maybe just like delete your personal account, or like put your personal account on the side and just use your professional or your brand account just while you're eating lunch or something. Just scroll through there. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that bonus tip definitely helped you. But yeah, the overall framework, that's how you grow it, 0 to 20K or even more. But if you're trying to find like kind of like the nitty gritty of how to actually do it, I definitely suggest looking more into what your industry, what your service, what your product is actually doing actively, and see what your competition is doing and seeing what you could do, but also what you like doing, and just take it from them, tailor it. Of course, don't copy it, but tailor it, make it yours, just put it out there. That's how you're going to compete, and don't expect something in the short term. It's always good. You just try to win the long-term game. You always win. Trust me. Now, if you like what you heard here and want to see more videos like this, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.